Traveling with the family. We rewarded good old Jason for being so serious and kind. Drinking trips are the best. When I called my husband, Dave, he was having a great time drinking at his destination. His cheerful attitude makes my blood boil. Despite this, Lisa was crying at home in the dark, holding the baby, all because of Dave and Jason. Lisa's hair was ruthlessly chopped off, and the left side of her head was almost completely shaved. She didn't even have eyebrows left. It seems that the two men punished her for having an affair. Chill out, Dave snapped. I couldn't believe that Jason, who seemed like a fine young man, could commit such a heinous act. I don't need this family, these memories, nothing at all. I've decided to leave Dave and Jason as well. I don't have any regrets or emotions left. I am Marilyn. I'm a housewife in my late 50s who finds my work to be my passion. Right now, I'm extremely elated. That's because my only daughter, Lisa, is getting married. Today, Lisa's boyfriend, Jason, came to greet us at our home. My husband and I, along with Lisa and Jason, sat facing each other. Jason sat straight like a student at a job interview, blinking a lot, clearly nervous. I fell for Lisa, my reliable senior, and pursued her relentlessly. I almost gave up after she turned down going to movies and theme parks. But bonding over drinks after overtime was what brought us closer. Stop it, that's embarrassing. You don't need to share that much. Jason scratched his head shyly. Really? Sorry, I thought I should tell your parents about our meeting. The two of them have a senior-junior relationship at work. Lisa is 4 years older than Jason and is turning 30 this year. It's one of those older wife stories. He seems like a kind-hearted man, so it might be a home where Lisa takes the lead. Jason must be very nervous. His hand was slightly trembling as he lifted his coffee cup. After drinking his coffee, Jason declared, I will, without a doubt, make Lisa happy. Jason, please take good care of Lisa. Yes, of course. I was relieved to see that my daughter's future husband seemed sincere. After and Jason off at the front door, I returned to the room. While Jason had been nervously sitting, Dave was lying on the sofa fiddling with his phone. Throughout the greeting, Dave didn't utter a single word. He's usually not very talkative, but he could at least manage greetings like good morning. This time, he didn't even manage a yeah or an okay. He was just looking away with a stern face. It wouldn't be an exaggeration to say that Jason was nervous because of Dave's attitude. During the greetings, I apologized to Jason, saying, he is just nervous. He's not angry, so don't worry about it. I've heard that fathers are often more shocked about their daughters' marriages than mothers. He looked angry, and I imagined he was sulking inside, thinking, I don't want to lose Lisa. It was kind of endearing. Jason seems like a good person. When I mentioned it, Dave grimaced and said, huh? He often stays quiet when in a bad mood, but rarely loses his temper. His sudden grumpy tone made me stiffen. That's a good person? You have no eye for people. He's just sucking up. Look, the booze he brought. It's my favorite. But it's expensive and I don't buy it often. Ah, I hate it. He thinks giving me expensive booze will make me happy. He probably researched Dave's favorite from Lisa to pick the perfect gift. I don't understand why there are complaints after receiving his favorite item. Same company as Lisa, huh? Must be that unnecessarily big, famous company. So what if it's a big corporation? Just because they pay well doesn't mean they can act all high and mighty. Showing off by buying expensive booze, so annoying. Maybe his outburst came from the complex feelings about his daughter's marriage? No, even if he feels sad about losing his daughter, this is too much. Let's stop. We don't know much about Jason yet, and it's not right to speak ill of him. Lisa chose him. Let's trust her. When I made it clear, Dave seemed to deflate. He slumped, looking unsure, and swallowed the words he wanted to say. This is Dave's usual demeanor. He couldn't find the right words and chose silence, but he expressed his mood by slamming doors and clicking his tongue. Occasionally he bursts out like this, but the moment I intervene calmly, Dave suddenly becomes quiet again. It's sad that I can't share the joy of Lisa's marriage with Dave. I remember a similar fuss when Lisa was about to go to college. What? You're going to college? It was May of Lisa's senior year of high school when he first mentioned it. Despite her attending supplemental classes and studying at home all the time, it seems he hadn't noticed. Why? There's no need to go to college, right? It costs money, doesn't it? Lisa explained her desire to pursue further education politely. But whether Dave was listening or not, he was looking in another direction and digging his pinky into his ear. As if to dismiss Lisa's passionate argument, he blew on his dirty fingertip after pulling it out of his ear. Wow, studying, huh? Rather than that, you should start working on site and learn the job. There are college grads my age at my company. But I don't get why they get promoted over me, who's been here longer. All that talk about studying, but colleges are just for playing around. What's so great about being a college grad? His prejudice was astounding. Yet, when I insisted that Lisa should go to college, Dave stayed quiet. Despite his obviously grumpy demeanor, Lisa got accepted into her first-choice college. Dave didn't even offer congratulations. His grumpy attacks don't bother me much anymore, they feel like a normal part of life. And now, this marriage thing has really gotten under his skin, surpassing his usual grumpiness and making him raise his voice. Jason seemed to be concerned about Dave's attitude. Despite his unpleasant demeanor, Jason kept inviting him out for drinks. At first, Dave was stubborn, but as he shared drinks with Jason, he gradually opened up. It was thanks to Jason's willingness to listen. That's why, Jason, I hate people with high education. I have more work experience, yet just because they have a degree, they climb over me. Isn't this world messed up? Yes, Dave. In our dining room, Dave was feeling good. When bringing snacks, I apologized to Jason, saying sorry, but he simply smiled and shook his head slightly. I have high hopes for you, Jason. Despite being a college grad, you're humble. Yeah, that's good. You don't hold a high position despite your education, huh? I see, you must really be incompetent at work, right? Since Dave started to belittle Jason, I hurried to stop him. Again, Jason smiled and said, "It's okay. Look, see? In our house, the wife boss is around. I failed at educating my wife. But there's still hope for you, Jason. Think of the wife as the husband's servant. Don't worry even if you can't achieve results at work. After all, no one else is going to judge us correctly. Rule your home like it's your kingdom. Got it? Ha ha ha. Yes, I understand, Dave. This is the first time I've seen Dave so badly drunk. He might be pleased because college graduates, whom he usually dislikes, are listening to him. Yet, no amount of flattery excuses his harsh words, but Jason kept lifting him up without losing his smile. What a remarkable person he is. He made an effort to get close to his fiancé's father. I was utterly reassured that Lisa's future would be bright. I was completely reassured that they would have a wonderful married life. Dave also approved, and Lisa and Jason got married without any issues. They now live in an apartment about 20 minutes away by train from our house. Soon after, Lisa became pregnant. Coming back home for the birth? No way. Kids are noisy. Lisa had asked to come home for the birth, but Dave flatly refused. It's her first birth, so she must be anxious. I'll cut back on work and support her properly. We won't bother you, please. We're family. Let's help each other. Just that was enough for Dave to pout and fall silent. It's as if I could hear his inner voice saying, I guess I have to do whatever you say. It's not that I want to ignore Dave's feelings. So, I explained how important postpartum support is, but since Dave wouldn't respond at all, I was at my wit's end. She'll be here the day after tomorrow, she'll be here tomorrow, I counted down to let Dave know. And somehow managed to arrange for Lisa to come home for the birth. And Lisa safely gave birth, now resting comfortably at our home. The first grandchild is a girl named Emily. Holding a newborn baby after a long time, she was soft and had a sweet scent. Even Dave couldn't help but smile at her cuteness. He doesn't know how to handle babies and doesn't fuss over her, but he pretends to pass by and sneaks peeks at Emily. After about a month of rest, the day for Lisa to return home arrived. Jason came to pick her up, and I felt a bit sad that this happy time was ending. Jason, it must have been hard on you being alone. Sorry for letting Lisa indulge in coming home. She's been lazing around here as if it's her job. When you get back home, she should make up for all the time she slacked off. Dave probably said that, trying to sound important, treating Jason almost like a subordinate. I was about to scold him, but Jason spoke first. Ha ha ha, understood, Dave. Jason seems to have gotten quite used to handling Dave. He agrees to keep the peace rather than cause a confrontation. I don't want to go back. Lisa muttered anxiously. It's unusual for her, who is normally so composed. What's wrong? Before Lisa could say anything, Jason put his arm around her shoulder. You shouldn't always rely on your mom. Lisa nodded, her face straining as if to hold back tears. Maybe she found it hard to leave the comfort of her parents' home. I won't be able to help as much from now on, but with Jason by her side, I shouldn't worry. I've significantly reduced my workload this past month. I made sure to come home early without overtime and even took a few days off. Caring for Emily was not tiring but rather energizing, filling me with motivation for work. At work, they were eager to send me on a business trip. I'm pumped to work hard so I can buy cute toys for my granddaughter. And a few days later, I returned home from the business trip. It's too late tonight, so I'll bring souvenirs to Lisa's house tomorrow and get to hold Emily. While I was excited about this plan, just as I was about to open the door to my house, I faintly heard a baby's cry. It was still a fragile, weak cry. I was happy thinking Lisa had come to our house, but suddenly, my heart felt uneasy. Something was off. Yes, our house was completely dark. When I opened the door, the crying became louder. There was no doubt about it, Emily was inside. Yet, why were there no lights on anywhere? Lisa, are you there? There was no response, only Emily's crying echoing through the house. I kicked off my shoes and hurried through the house. When I opened the living room door, I could vaguely see a figure in the dark. Tentatively, I turned on the light. Ah! I gasped and recoiled in shock. There was Lisa, holding Emily and shedding tears. But I couldn't recognize her at first. Because her hair was chopped haphazardly, and the left side of her head was shaved almost to baldness. Lisa? Are you okay? What happened? As I rushed over to her, I noticed she didn't even have eyebrows. I almost screamed again, but instead, I embraced her. Lisa's hoarse crying sounded directly in my ear, painfully squeezing my heart. I held Lisa for a long time. Finally, she whispered the dreadful reason. Dad did this to me. What? Why? No matter how moody or angry Dave got, he had never laid a hand on anyone. Could this be some mistake? But Lisa's next words only added to my confusion. Anne. Jason. What? That was impossible. Not the Jason I knew, who was the picture of a good young man. As I reeled in shock, Lisa's empty gaze met mine. In that moment, I was certain of the truth. Lisa wouldn't lie. But why? Lisa continued with an unbelievable explanation. I cheated, that's why. That can't be. I mean, actually. I truly believe in Lisa, yet she told a story that seemed unreal. Struggling to keep from losing it, I called Dave to verify the facts. Hello, hi there. Dave answered the phone cheerfully. It sounded noisy in the background, like he was out somewhere. Apparently, he was drinking. Where are you right now? I took a deep breath, trying to ask gently, but my tone came out harsh. However, Dave seemed too happily immersed in his drinking to care. On a family trip. Family trip with whom? With Jason. I rewarded that serious and kind Jason. A drinking trip, the best. You also act all important with your business trips. Probably just eating local delicacies, right? There's nothing like food and drink on a trip, huh? Despite Lisa trembling right next to me, Dave responded cheerily on the phone. He seemed to have forgotten that my business trip ended today. A drinking trip, just the two of you? What about Lisa and Emily? She's on house duty. Had a bit of a situation, you know. We needed her to cool off, so we just had to get out. struggling to respond with a "I see you" was painful, and I moved the phone away from my ear. While anger overflowed within me, confronting this cheerful man now felt pointless. Men need a break too. It's unfair how women always use kids as an excuse to take time off. That's why I took a week's leave. Let the folks at work realize they can't manage without me. When you get home, expect a mess I didn't clean up. You think I'm a cleaning robot or something? In the background, someone cheered, "That's right." Regrettably, it was Jason's voice. Any faint hope that Jason was merely swept up by Dave was crushed. As I stood there dumbfounded after ending the call, Lisa said, "He wasn't a good person." Actually, it was Jason who. Tears overflowed from her eyes again. Even Emily, who had been falling asleep in my arms, began to fuss. I couldn't bear to see their sad tears any longer. Hurting you, and then going on a family trip. What family? What were those 30 years we spent with Dave, living as a family? A father who could so easily discard his own daughter after 30 years of care is no longer needed. To Lisa, still trembling, I asked quietly, "Do you need such a family? Should we just let them go?" As I spoke, 30 years of memories flashed before me. The day Lisa was born. The first time she called out "Daddy." Dave had been overjoyed, crying and jumping around. At least when Lisa was young, he seemed to truly love her. I almost convinced myself he wasn't all bad, but then I remembered how he'd get moody over trivial matters, again and again. He once left Lisa and me in a distant park because she called Mommy more often than Daddy, sulking abruptly. The bad memories outweigh the good by 100-fold. And now this treatment of Lisa. As a family member, Dave was no longer necessary. Lisa, still shaking, looked me in the eyes, her resolve clear. "I don't need him." Hearing her reply, I nodded deeply. We don't need them, not this family, not the memories, nothing. I resolved to discard Dave and even Jason. No remnants of attachment or affection remained. A week later, my phone was bombarded with calls from Dave. Out of annoyance, I finally answered. Bracing for a shout, I lightly covered my ear, but Dave's voice lacked its usual force, almost tentative. The house, it's not here." When I didn't respond immediately, Dave continued, increasingly bewildered. I'm pretty sure I'm at the right place, but there's no house, you know?" "Right, Jason, there's no house, right?" "No, there isn't." He must have felt like he was in a dream. Anyone would be confused if something as fundamental as their home had vanished. When they returned to the familiar place where our house once stood, there was nothing left. No gate, no flower beds, not even the large house itself. Just a clean, empty plot of land. Ah, that plot, I sold it. You sold it? What do you mean, sold it? Dave's voice cracked, the reality hitting him. So overwhelmed by the situation, Dave seemed incapable of comprehending it. I sold it to the real estate agency. The house was getting old, and more importantly, I didn't want to live in a home soaked with memories of you. I thought I might as well tear it all down. It was in my name, so I did what I wanted with it. No way, you're kidding, right? Dave's deflated lament was nauseating. Ignored or yelled at either was unpleasant. But his weak, whiny demeanor was incredibly irritating. Dave always felt inferior to me, burdened by a sense of inadequacy. This was because I earned more than he did. I never blamed him or looked down on him for it, but it was always on his mind. No, but how can you just do this on your own? Why, I wonder why he is wondering why. He must know some reason for such drastic measures to be taken. It's about Lisa. Oh. He surely hadn't forgotten about Lisa while indulging himself for a week. No, you've got it wrong. It's Lisa's fault. She cheated, can you believe it? Cheating? Yes. That's why I cut her hair. Shaving is a form of penance, right? I figured if I made her look like that, no man would touch her. And she couldn't cheat. As if a mother with a newborn had time to cheat. But apparently, Jason had suspected her of infidelity. Jason abruptly interrupted the phone call. Listen, Marilyn. Lisa sometimes doesn't do any housework all day. Then what was she doing all day? That means she's with a man. Right, Dave. So the simplistic conclusion these two men reached was that she was cheating. Why couldn't they think of childcare as a reason for not being able to do housework? Clearly, they were completely disinterested in child rearing, leaving it all to the wife. There's evidence. I saw texts on Lisa's phone with a guy from work. Thanks for the baby gift. I confronted Lisa and she admitted it. The man even gave her a designer bib as a present. A deep relationship, exchanging gifts. I had already heard the circumstances from Lisa. A particularly close female colleague had brought gifts from several colleagues for the baby. Ordinary people wouldn't suspect foul play over baby bibs and socks. So I thought I'd get Dave to scold her, and to make her repent, he started cutting her hair. Classic Dave. Teaching the wife her place below her husband. Jason's tone was aggressive. Lisa didn't cheat. No, if a woman isn't taking care of the home, it means she's with a man. Was Jason always like this? I even hated myself for once believing he was a dependable, good young man. Then let me say this. If you suspect your partner of cheating, isn't it because you're doing it yourself? What? No, that's not. He was clearly flustered. I just heard from Lisa. You used her absence as an opportunity to bring women over to your house, didn't you? How did you know that? So it was true. You seem to take Lisa for granted, but we see right through your actions. I heard him gasp. Bringing different women to the house every day, making them do everything from housework to taking care of your needs, paying them money. Did you use those popular dating apps? You must have enjoyed feeling like a king. In fact, Lisa was aware of all Jason's betrayals. When she confronted him about his infidelity, he turned aggressive and harmed her. Wait, Jason was cheating? Despite Lisa's accusations, the foolish Dave had completely trusted Jason. Perhaps Dave and his personality changed, it doesn't excuse the egregious mistakes he made. Since when does anyone destroy a house out of spite for infidelity? Dave still doesn't grasp the gravity of his sins. It's not just about the cheating. I'm angry because you hurt Lisa. Even after all this, Dave and Jason seemed nonchalant. What? She was injured? I don't remember cutting her ear with scissors. I used a hair clipper for the first time, it was quite easy. Maybe I could become a barber. The conversation was going nowhere. Lisa had to face them alone and ended up being hurt. She must have been terrified. She surely worried about Emily possibly being harmed too. Anyway, I've had enough of you, Dave. As you can see, you have no home to return to. Since you seem to prefer Jason over Lisa, let him take care of you. All your belongings are at Jason's place now. Of course, neither Lisa nor Emily is there. Upon my declaration, I heard two voices utter dismayed. Oh no. I had braced for a furious reaction, but perhaps the shock of coming home to find their house gone was too much to grasp immediately. After hanging up, it wasn't long before the two arrived at Jason's apartment. Lisa and I could monitor their actions and words in a certain way. Wow, a mountain of cardboard boxes. These are your things, right? To think Marilyn actually destroyed the house, she must be really angry. What are we going to do? It's really gone. I always knew my wife looked down on me. She may have an education and earn money, but as a wife, she's a failure. He continued to insult me even now. Wait, so Jason was cheating for real? And it wasn't Lisa's fault? I did give money to women for fun. Dave held his head in dismay. Why did it get out? If you're going to fool around, you have to do it smartly. It's annoying to have to apologize to Lisa now. I didn't cheat. I don't know anything is the only way to stick to it. Understood. Dave then slumped heavily into the sofa, his foot tapping nervously. Well, Lisa received gifts from a man too, and most of all, my wife destroyed the house. She's overwhelmingly at fault. Yes, we did nothing wrong. He might be pretending to be confident while panicking inside. Despite knowing it was futile to talk, I couldn't hold back. Who did you say did nothing wrong? Yikes. My voice suddenly echoing in the room made Dave scream and jump like a startled frog. I thought you might have some remorse, but it turns out you're only thinking about yourself. What? Where are you? Dave and Jason rushed together, holding hands and looking around. They kicked at the cardboard boxes, suspecting I might be hiding inside. As I said before, I can see everything you're doing. I've been watching the whole time, with this camera. A camera? The two searched the room and finally noticed the camera on the shelf. Lisa and I were watching them through a nursery camera we had set up inside the room, monitoring the video on our phones. We could even communicate through it. A hidden camera? You were spying on us? Don't mess with us. That's a lie. Jason's face, twisted in anger, filled the screen in close-up. As Lisa clung to me, she took a deep breath and declared resolutely. That's not eavesdropping. It's merely a camera to watch over the child. Eavesdropping is eavesdropping. How dare you, woman? Next time, shaving your head won't be enough, I'll make those eyes of yours useless. Confronted with this raging Jason, I was at a loss for words. The mask of the good young man was shattered completely. On the last day of her hometown visit, I remember Lisa's profile as she whispered, "I don't want to go back." Apparently, after their marriage, Jason had changed. Although both Lisa and Jason worked, Jason slowly started to assert that housework was the woman's responsibility. And that a woman should serve her husband. Unexpectedly, the nanny camera captured Jason's abusive language and his infidelity. Oh, what a shock. From a safe place, Lisa maintained her composure, provoking Jason's nerves. Enraged, Jason grabbed the camera and slammed it onto the floor. The camera, now on the floor, captured Jason stomping furiously. Don't mess with me. How dare a woman try to trap me? Don't underestimate men. Despite graduating from a prestigious university and working for a significant company, Jason's behavior was childish. I thought he was just going along with Dave, but perhaps he genuinely resonated with his statements. Jason, do you have a complex about yourself? Is it because Lisa earns more as she is your senior? If so, instead of attacking others, you should enhance your skills and aim higher. It's because he lacks the ability, so he blusters, Lisa murmured. While stomping like a child in a tantrum, Jason continued to hurl vile words, denigrating Lisa's character. How dare a woman be so presumptuous? A barrage of unbearable abuse followed. After listening for several minutes, Lisa softly said, "This camera has a recording function, you know." Instantly, the verbal abuse stopped. The abusive language shifted to pained crying, "I didn't mean it like that. I love Lisa, so I was just being indulgent." He began to backtrack. There is nothing more nauseating than the tears of someone who had been arrogant just moments ago. Lisa and I felt sick and ended the call. Jason dragged Dave in front of the camera, and together, they started to apologize. An apology like a performance now is too late. From here on, this is what I heard from Lisa. The next day, Jason showed up to work with a haggard expression. It was his first day back after a week of leave, and the stares from his colleagues seemed to pierce through him. What's wrong? Are you worried about my swollen eyes? It looks a bit like conjunctivitis, doesn't it? His eyes were red and swollen from crying during yesterday's apology. Even as he tried to laugh it off, the cold stares from his colleagues continued. For some reason, he seemed crushed by an atmosphere filled with overt hostility. Then Lisa showed up. Though it wasn't strange for her to be there, as she was an employee of the same company, Jason looked as if he had seen a ghost. "Why are you here?" Jason screamed. "I came to thank everyone for the baby gifts." "What? Now? You don't have to do that now. Don't show your scary face here." It was precisely because of the timing that it mattered. Lisa was wearing a hat, but it was still obvious at a glance that her eyebrows and front hair were shaven. No one could fail to be shocked by her appearance. Lisa had only spoken modestly about Jason, so her colleagues were initially skeptical. But Jason's panicked response made them realize what the truth was. It's not true, I did nothing wrong. She was a bad wife, and I haven't done anything. I don't know anything. No matter how much he tried to dodge, he couldn't escape the truth. Afterwards, Lisa and Jason divorced. The reason for the divorce spread quickly through the company, and Jason ended up on tenterhooks. Even though he clung to his job at the large corporation, that too came to an end. Fired, terminated. No way. After enduring bullying from the entire company, terminated? Lisa had reported his abuse to the police. Jason was prosecuted at home and received a fine. He might have thought it wasn't a big deal because he didn't end up in prison, but a criminal record sticks regardless. He can't complain about being dismissed for misconduct. After being disconnected for a while due to the unplugged power cord, the nanny camera finally showed Jason's head. His hair was cleanly shaved, revealing a scalp that glistened blue. Can you see this? Lisa, I was wrong. I now have a criminal record and am unemployed. Are you satisfied now? As you can see, I've shaved my head. I am repentant. Lisa initiated the conversation without hesitation. If only we could turn back time. Lisa. Yes, you're right. Let's turn back time and start over. Lisa's hair had just grown enough to be styled into a very short cut, and her eyebrows had regrown. Her features are distinct, making her look like a cool older sister. Her expression has also become much brighter. That's impossible. Time doesn't rewind. And even if it somehow could, I'd go back to before I ever met you and make sure we never did. Lisa's voice no longer trembled. This will be our last conversation. I've already asked a lawyer to handle the rest. A lawyer? We're already divorced, what else is there? Child support for Emily. Jason, who had been kneeling, punched the floor. I'm unemployed, you know? I've been caught by the police, too. You're still going on with this? Inhuman. She immediately turned off the call. There was no time to listen to his abuse. As for Dave, the cause of all this turmoil, he's been resisting divorce from me, groveling. Dave was also dismissed from his long-term job due to his criminal record from assaulting Lisa. Now without a home or job, he likely doesn't want to lose his family as well. He's even ambushed me near my workplace. I got mad because Lisa earns more than me. I thought I'd discipline her with Jason, sort of teach her a lesson. I may have gone too far. But I meant no harm. It seems Lisa was attacked due to his inferiority complex. You meant no harm? That's right. I had no bad intentions. I'm shocked it's turned into such a big deal. Having the police involved in family matters is terrible. But I can forgive that. It's unclear why he thinks he's in a position to forgive. Hurting someone without malice is even more terrifying. You don't understand what you did wrong, so there's no chance for rehabilitation. I can't bear to be near such a dangerous person. I gotta protect my precious daughter and granddaughter from being harmed again. But Lisa is my precious daughter too. Are you trying to take her away from me unilaterally? We're family, aren't we? It's infuriating to hear him talk about family. Dave shamelessly clung to me. Where are you guys living now? Let's live together as a family again. I have nowhere to go. When I tried to return to my parents' house, they said, "You are no longer a son to us," and wouldn't even open the door. Did Lisa tell on me? Even my dad has abandoned me. So I have no one but you guys to rely on. Lisa had informed my in-laws herself about what happened. Her grandparents had been so shocked by her pitiable state that they became dizzy. Even if he is their biological son, they would not welcome Dave, the mastermind. Ultimately, Dave has no place to go. He pathetically settled in the empty lot where our house once stood, spending several days on the bare earth. Of course, he was reported as a suspicious person to the police and lost that spot too. In the end, Dave ended up at Jason's place. Though the living room camera had been unplugged, the bedroom camera was still connected. Hey, haven't you found a job yet? I guess people without a degree really are no good. What? You're just a temp worker. I get hired even with a record because I'm smart. Unlike someone who can't even get a temp job with a record. Such petty squabbling ensued. Despite their bickering, they surprisingly seemed to get along. Quietly, Lisa deleted the nanny camera app. There was no longer any interest in spying on their fate. It looks like they'll soon be unable to pay the rent on the apartment from just Jason's part-time job earnings. And they'll end up homeless together. Meanwhile, I live peacefully with Lisa and Emily. More than 6 months after the incident, Lisa's hair had grown enough to cover her ears. As her hair grew longer, her smile gradually returned to its former brightness. I was worried she might become withdrawn, but she didn't want to waste her maternity leave. She's been energetically going out with Emily, showing how resilient she has become. There was something to learn even from such a father. There are things more important than education or income. As Lisa stroked Emily's head, her face radiated genuine kindness. Opening her small mouth wide to reveal 2 little teeth, Emily smiled brightly. I want to protect this smile. Catching each other's eyes, Lisa and I surely shared the same sentiment.